They just won't leave him alone. They just won't leave him alone. Abrego Garcia. This stupid fucking administration just won't leave him alone.
Presently sending a final update to the onboard computers for antenna management. And we have a go for auto sequence starts. And we have auto sequence starts. 4, 3, 2, 1.
You know, we all could have seen this coming. We all could have seen it coming. I saw it coming. Abrego Garcia was released from jail on Friday. We saw the news stories of him meeting with his family, all hugging, crying, having a tearful reunion. And I thought to myself, this cannot last, because thugs and thugs, Ice Barbie, Stephen Miller, Donald Trump were all still talking about how they were going to continue to try to port him, and the rumors were swirling over the weekend that it was going to be Costa Rica at first. Some kind of proposal that came from Trump that if he would plead guilty to the charges the government foisted upon him, that they would let him simply live freely in Costa Rica and just harmlessly live out the rest of his life. But if he didn't, they were stating they were going to send him to Uganda. Well, sure as shit, lo and behold, here comes Monday morning. Abrego Garcia dutifully goes to his little ICE hearing, following the instructions after his release from jail. And he ends up he goes into the courtroom, and what do the ICE thugs do to him? Why, they take him down and arrest him. Just like he's a murdering piece of crap criminal. Just like they are. And the charges, of course, nothing. He didn't do a damn thing. And the Trump administration threatened him with deportation to Uganda. Go figure. I don't know why these undocumented migrants continue to follow faithfully the law and directions of showing up for these court hearings when all that's going to happen is the judge is going to take away their ability and right for seeking asylum, and is going to take away everything that they were fighting for and just throw them into the ICE machine so they can be thrown into gulags. Fortunately, Judge Zinnis, the judge that has been presiding over all of Abrego Garcia's cases so far, was available and ready to sign off on an emergency court order stopping the Trump administration from carrying out the deportation. That order was filed by Abrego Garcia himself Monday morning. In my previous introduction, I talked about how I was upset because undocumented migrants continue to go to their court cases, and then the judges in those court cases cancel their asylum and throw them into the waiting arms of the ICE goons. And I was remiss in this particular situation, especially with Abrego Garcia, because the entire reason why Abrego Garcia was going to the ICE detention center in Baltimore was because it was part of his pre-trial conditions for being released from detention while he awaited trial for the government, indicting him on bogus charges of human trafficking that will likely never be successful. So I apologize for that. This situation here, as we're looking at it on Monday morning, this is showing, first of all, this is Abrego Garcia's wife being escorted out of the ICE detention center after he was rearrested and threatened to be deported to Uganda by the ICE Barbie propagandist machine. So as we're watching this now, they're escorting her. It looks like there's an organization, community group here that is helping escort her to the vehicle and trying to protect her as they take her away from the building, as she's again been separated from her husband, who was supposed to be under electronic surveillance with an ankle brace in his house while he waited for the government to try to crack down on him again using trying to take him to this bogus trial for bullshit that he never did. So this is just a continuation of what has been going on for ever with Abrego Garcia and this thug dictatorship government. This straitjacket hell that we found ourselves completely bound up in. Now, Simon Sandoval Mosenberg. Now, he is Abrego Garcia's immigration attorney. And as such, he belongs to a firm, and he handles the immigration matters, the deportation matters and litigation for Abrego Garcia. That is different than his criminal attorneys who are handling the criminal trial that is at some time upcoming. The government, of course, is all hell-bent to make sure that gets scheduled and he is put on trial at some point in the future. But his criminal attorneys are a completely different firm. They are Sean Hecker, Jenna Dabbs, and David Penn, called from a firm called Hecker Fink, and they are instrumental in things like this, where it says this is Abrego Garcia's supplemental to the motion to have his entire indictment dismissed, and this is information being presented to the judge of Middle Tennessee who is overseeing that case. Now, you see here on the bottom where we have the respectively submitted Hecker, Dobbs, Petrin, Hecker, Fink, LLP. So that they handle the criminal cases. Now, the embargo on the deportation to Uganda then was filed by Simon as in this petition for writ of habeas corpus that was filed here, Murray Osorio, which is where Simon Sandoval Mosenberg actually works under. You can see down here under the signatures, right here, Murray Osorio, PLLC, Simon Sandoval Mosenberg, Esquire, as well as Rena Gandhi and probably several others. So that is the lay of the land here and how this works out, because you have two separate entities here. One is handling the deportation issues, crises that are seen to be happening just about every single other day with this stupid regime. And then the other part is the criminal, which is going to actually handle the trial and any motions dealing with that, any kind of custody release, etc. They were the ones who originally set up the pretrial release that Abrego Garcia was hopefully going to enjoy, at least while he was awaiting trial. But, of course, the Trump administration and Ice Bitch Barbie and the rest of Stephen Miller and the rest of the Nazis have a lot to say about that, and they don't seem to care about allowing this man to have one moment's rest or peace with his family in his own life, or just generally feeling like he's an actual human being who can live in the United States without goons coming after him. Now, here's the press conference held Monday morning after the embargo was filed on Garcia's deportation to Uganda.
Not to allow his arm to be twisted to take a guilty plea if he doesn't want to, his constitutional right to exercise his right to a jury trial on his criminal proceedings if he so chooses, and his constitutional right and his right under the Bail Reform Act to leave the prison and come home to his family. He's being punished for exercising those rights. We asked the ICE officer what the reason for his detention was. The ICE officer didn't answer. The
Of course
ICE officer
not.
stated that he'll be taken to a detention center. We asked the ICE officer which detention center. The ICE officer said that they weren't able to say.
Of course
We asked
not.
the ICE officer
They have no
what
reason.
paperwork that's being served on him today. The ICE officer wouldn't commit to even giving us that paperwork.
They have nothing.
In the last 5 minutes, Mr. Abrego Garcia has filed a new lawsuit in the Federal District Court for the District of Maryland, challenging his current confinement and challenging deportation to Uganda or to any other country unless and until he's had a fair trial as in an immigration court, as well as his full appeal rights. In 2019, Mr. Abrego Garcia had a full trial. It lasted over 2 days in this building behind me. And the result of that trial was that the judge entered an order that he could not be deported to El Salvador. That order was not even appealed by the government. If they want to deport him to any other country, they need to go through that exact same process. Unless and until they have gone through that process, they do not have the right to put him on an airplane. And that's what we're going to be asking the district court to ensure, that he is not put on any flight to any country whatsoever, whether it's Uganda, South Sudan, what have you, unless and until he has had a full trial in an immigration court as well as his full appeal rights. So he's filed a lawsuit seeking to ensure that he is not removed from the United States pending his immigration proceedings. We'll certainly be advising of that lawsuit. The courthouse isn't even open for the day yet. But other than that, his family was, and he was exceedingly grateful to see the tremendous amount of support today and over the weekend. This is a person who didn't even know that he had anyone looking out for him, much less the entire nation, for the 3 months that he was detained in El Salvador. This is a person who, feared that the world had forgotten about him. And so you can imagine how much it filled his heart to learn that not only was it not true that the world had forgotten about him, but that the whole world was behind him and was marching and raising their voices and raising their fists to support him. Has filled his heart throughout these past months. Let me repeat that in Spanish.
Jennifer firmly looked at the officers in the face and said, "Remember this moment when you go home and see your kids. You have once again kidnapped my husband." For those who continue to demand liberation like Kilmar is now, we are here with you, right here, right now, and always. Repeat after me. We are here with you. Right here, right now, and always. Estamos contigo, aquí, ahora y siempre. Y esta lucha no se acaba hoy, sino esta lucha sigue y sigue y sigue. And this fight does not end today. It will continue on and on and on. Si se puede, mi gente? Yes, we can. Thank you so much.
So I don't represent him in his criminal matters. Whether the plea deal is off the table or not, you'd have to address that to his criminal defense attorney. But the fact that they're holding, Costa Rica as a carrot and using Uganda as a stick to try to coerce him to plead guilty to a crime is such clear evidence that they're weaponizing the immigration system in a manner that is completely unconstitutional, and specifically weaponizing the decision of which country they send him to. If their stated goal is to get him out of the country as quickly as possible, there's already a country that has offered him refugee status, that has committed itself not to redeport him to El Salvador, and that he has stated that he is willing to accept, right? Instead, they're going to play games with his life and keep him detained for, God knows how long, to fight a fight over whether he can be deported to Uganda or not. So, they didn't get what they wanted, which is to keep him locked up in Tennessee under criminal proceedings. And so instead, they've designated removal to a country that they know that he's going to oppose. They know that he's going to ask for legal proceedings against deportation to Uganda, right? It really is very clear that the government is far more interested in throwing around their weight and demonstrating what they think is their power to do whatever they want, whenever they want, to whoever they want. That's clearly far more important to them than any particular outcome in this case. As was explained in the filing in the Tennessee case on Saturday morning, Mr. Abrego Garcia stated that he was willing to accept refugee status in Costa Rica.
Sadly to say, I would say yes, they did expect today's outcome. There's no reason for ICE to detain him. They don't have present legal authority to remove him from Uganda because he's requested a reasonable fear interview. He has the right to court proceedings, right? And he's already on whatever.
The Baltimore ICE office has really been one of the worst in the whole country about taking people into detention for no reason.
What was this weekend like for Kilmar and his family?
I can't really speak to that. I mean, I'll speak to the legal case. I'm sure there's other folks who can talk. Yeah, so the lawsuit that was filed this morning is asking for an order that he not be allowed to be removed from the United States unless and until he's had full due process as to a claim for protection to any particular country that they want to name. Right now it's Uganda. Tomorrow it might be, who knows, right? The main issue, aside from just the conditions in the country, is that country going to actually let him stay there, right? I mean, they can offer to send him to Madrid, Spain, and unless Madrid, Spain is going to let him remain in that country, essentially all it is just a very inconvenient layover on the way to El Salvador, right? Which is the one country that it's already been determined that he can't be sent to, right? So our contention is that they can't send him to any one of the other 200 countries on earth unless that country is given credible assurances that he'll be allowed to have a legal status, such as Costa Rica has already done, right? Costa Rica has already offered refugee status. The suit was filed by Murray Osorio PLLC and the law firm of Quinn Emanuel.
If the lawsuit wasn't filed, could ICE have already started to deport him
Well, in the prior lawsuit, Judge Zinnes had ordered 72 hours, not including weekends. So I have. It's hard to trust them. As an immigration lawyer who's been practicing for 18 years, it seems to me obvious that when someone has requested a reasonable fear interview, that interview must take place before the person, and then there must be proceedings before the immigration judge and all the appeals. One shouldn't have to file a lawsuit to make it clear that you can't be deported to any particular country unless and until the legal proceedings have actually concluded. But we are where we are, and so that's why we felt the need to file that lawsuit this morning. All right, thank you very much.
So that ends a very, very powerful press conference by Abrego Garcia's immigration lawyer. You saw all the supporters that are protesting against his continued detention and being harassed and basically almost daily run over by this U.S. fascist government trying to destroy everybody and everything, rolling over and bulldozing the rule of law and democracy here. Abrego also had a hearing, I believe, on Wednesday, August 27th. So I will be filling you in on that hearing when I am able to catch up and give you some analysis of it. And we hope for the best, of course, for Abrego, and that they will be successful in getting these assholes out of his life and away from his family. My name is Scott Schneider. I am fed up in Minnesota.